These are the creepiest Jimmy Neutron episodes of all time. The third one being Sleepless in Retroville. Jimmy's best friends Carl and Sheen come over for a sleepover. Jimmy shows the gang his newest invention, the Slumbertron 9000, a device that makes great pizza, deploys pillows for pillow fights, and tells scary stories. The ultimate invention for a sleepover. Sheen wants to use all the functions at once, but Jimmy insists on only using one at a time, so they start with a pillow fight. Then they make the ultimate pizza, and later on they use it for scary stories. Sheen demands scream your head off scary stories, and the device gives them what they ask for. Dr. Dark appears and tells the trio about the monster that eats kids at night. The story scares the three so bad that they decide to shut down the machine and go to sleep. Carl wakes up in the middle of the night and wants pizza, but everyone is asleep, so he makes the pizza himself. He types, "I want pizza, love Carl," but the device gives him a syntax error. He then presses all the buttons at once, which Jimmy told them not to do earlier, and we find out why. Dr. Dark combines with the pizza to become the pizza monster. Jimmy can't erase the monster because the machine crashes, and the three run off screaming. They split up, but the pizza monster is then cut into 3 slices to follow them. Jimmy gets a brain blast, realizing the monster only eats children at night, so if they can make the pizza monster think the sun is rising, it will leave them alone. The plan works and the pizza dissolves out in the sunlight. However, then the pizza suddenly comes to life, shouting, "Fools, have you never heard of sequels?" Suddenly Jimmy jolts awake, then Hugh wakes up, followed by Carl, Sheen, and in a plot twist, the pizza monster itself wakes up, and the whole thing turns out to be its nightmare and not the boys. The monster's wife wakes up, but she reassures him, saying it was just a dream, there's no such thing as children. This episode always stands out in my memory from the show, mainly because the pizza monster's face was so creepy to see as a kid. This episode is the epitome of what Jimmy Neutron was all about. Jimmy making an invention for the purpose of making life more fun or easy for him and his friends, leading to absolute chaos. I especially love when Jimmy's genius is balanced out by his desire to just do normal kid activities, like in this episode, just having a sleepover with his friends. And in second place for the creepiest Jimmy Neutron episode is Who's Your Mommy? Definitely the weirdest episode. The episode kicks off with Jimmy, Carl, Sheen, and Goddard blasting off to a different planet. Sheen wants to retrieve his Ultralord action figure he left behind during their last trip. But while searching, Jimmy notices something strange that wasn't there before. Curious, he has Carl collect a DNA sample from the odd human-like structure. The second Carl scratches it, the thing comes alive and spits out a scorpion-shaped alien that latches onto his face. Back at Jimmy's lab, the gang tries to remove the creature without letting Carl see what's going on. Using a pair of lasers, Jimmy manages to blast it off, but the ordeal is far from over. Later at the candy bar, Jimmy and Sheen notice Carl acting bizarre. He's scarfing down bizarre combos like ice cream with pickles, salmon, jalapenos, and even lard. Then they spot something even weirder. Carl's butt is glowing pink. After running some tests, Jimmy makes a shocking discovery. Carl has been impregnated by the alien. Yep, that's what happened. That's what happened in the episode. At school the next day, Sheen enables Carl's cravings while Jimmy scrambles for a cure. Yeah, good idea. But Carl starts warming up to the idea that becoming a parent isn't so bad, especially after his dad gets excited about having a grandchild. That night, Carl even seeks advice from Cindy about raising the alien baby. Meanwhile, things escalate when a massive jellyfish-like alien attacks Retroville, draining the city's electricity. Jimmy and Sheen rush to protect Carl, realizing the creature is connected to his alien pregnancy. The climax hit when Carl finally goes into labor. Just as the alien menace threatens the town, Carl gives birth to a baby alien who turns out to be the child of the giant jellyfish. Thank God. And the two return peacefully to their home planet. This episode was creepy on so many levels. A pretty entertaining episode. Ridiculous, wild, weird, but honestly one of my favorite episodes of Jimmy Neutron, despite how bizarre it really was. And in first place, the creepiest episode of Jimmy Neutron is the Phantom of Retroland. It's show and tell day in Miss Fowle's class. Jimmy presents a miniature pendulum model and gives a brief explanation about the famous physicist behind it. Next up is Nick, who captivates the class with a spooky story about the Phantom of Retroland, a terrifying ghost said to haunt the local amusement park. Determined to debunk the myth in the name of science, Jimmy decides to investigate the legend himself. Enlisting the help of his hesitant friends against Carl and Sheen. To sneak out undetected, Jimmy sets up a hologram of himself, peacefully sleeping in bed. But in typical Jimmy Neutron fashion, things go terribly wrong when the projector glitches, swapping the sleeping image for one of Jimmy doing the limbo on the school playground. When his parents see this, bizarre display, they rush out to search for him. Meanwhile, Jimmy and his crew, including Goddard, arrive at Retroland. There they encounter the Phantom, who turns out to be Nick playing a prank. Moments later, a second Phantom appears, this time revealed to be Cindy and Libby in disguise, plotting to get back at Jimmy for always acting like a know-it-all. True haters. Just as the group is about to leave, a third Phantom appears, this one far more sinister with a glowing skull-like face. Jimmy thinks it's just another prank, pulls off the cloak only to reveal a glowing skeletal body underneath. He and his friends scream and run for their lives. Yeah, probably a good idea. But it's not over. The Phantom is revealed to be Jimmy's mom, Judy, with Hugh tagging along. They had planned this scare as a lesson after discovering Jimmy had snuck out using the hologram. Then, just as they start to leave, the ground trembles and a real Phantom emerges, translucent, glowing purple, and unlike anything they'd staged. Judy and Hugh let out a scream and bolt in terror, ending the episode with a dramatic zoom into Hugh's screaming mouth. I love that this episode featured every important character in the show. I also like the little Scooby-Doo tribute with the monster reveals turning out to be different characters from the episode. Similar to the pizza monster face, I think this is a super memorable episode because the face of the Phantom is such an eye-popping and creepy sight that's hard to forget. I have a feeling the Jimmy Neutron team just really enjoys drawing terrifying looking creatures, and I'm grateful they do because they're really good at it. This episode creeped me out big time growing up, for sure.